the main topic on this is, right, it depends on the client's goals, okay, and the client's plan. Annuities can fit a lot of retirees plans. They really can. Now it really determines where the plan is, how far the plan is, what age the client is, what their goals are, right? How much income's already coming in. But really, it tailors down to the first thing, maximizing Social Security first. And that's always the most important part. The first thing you really need to tailor down is how much income you're getting for Social Security. When am I taking it? What do I need? What's the gap left over? Because that's where an annuity, in a fixed index annuity, can actually come into play, right? Because it could have a rider on there that can guarantee some income. And that's one of the many vehicles out there that can actually help with guaranteed income. But the first part is understanding the gap. Hey, look, okay, problem solution. Okay, so if you're out there and you're you've been working or you're planning on retirement or you want to start planning it. Okay, the first thought in your mind should be what? Hey, when I stop working or when I want to stop working, how much income am I losing? And how do I maximize the income with my assets that I have? Right? So Social Security first. Now that's where the next part comes into play. Okay, so being able to say, hey, guess what? I've got $60,000 to $70,000 of lost income, which is the average range, okay, of a client. Say really, it's $60,000 to $100,000 of income that a client is going to need yearly after they retire. Now, that's for many reasons. Number one is because pensions don't exist anymore. Okay, we see some out there with TSPs with the government. There's a lot of military workers in our area, but when you look at the pension world, they don't happen much anymore. And that's where these 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, right, 403bs, they're really coming into play because those are meant for that income, right? So, and we help pretty much any retiree transition those funds into income for your retirement plan. And that is the most important thing, to be able to maximize income out of those TSPs, 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, and we call it qualified funds. Okay, that's what they're there for. If you need help transitioning, right, those 401ks, TSPs, IRAs, give us a call at 850-565-1705. Again, 850-565-1705, and we can help you transition those funds into an income stream that is really taking away that gap that you receive when you retire.
So, David, let's talk about that for a second. That's a good point. The qualified funds, really, somebody getting into retirement, I don't care what industry they came from, what they did for work. If there's no pension and they want to retire and they want to be comfortable, they've saved somewhere or another, they've saved money. And they've put it somewhere in, like you mentioned, a 401k, even IRA, traditional IRAs, TSPs, 403bs. They have this money there. And then when they determine when they want to retire, they've got to start thinking about longevity, because retirement's not like it used to be. Retirement's not 5 or 10 years. Some people are living 20, 30 years in retirement. So I think the fear of people, and when we talk to them, well, I don't mind working. Well, yeah, you do. Because you mentioned it earlier, you work all your life to retire, to relax, to spend time with grandkids, to travel, to do the fun things you couldn't do every day. And that's what our job is, to sit down. We identify those qualified funds you mentioned, and then we set up some guaranteed income. And sometimes the income we give our clients, a lot of times, is more than they think they need. And I'm telling you, that's going to cover the inflation. That's going to cover the cruises. That's going to cover, oh my gosh, my refrigerator went out. I got to go spend $3,000 on a refrigerator. That's going to cover the extra income, is going to solve those problems. And it's going to take away the fear of retirement, is setting up an income plan. And that's exactly what we do with our clients. We sit down. First thing we're going to look at is, when do you want to retire? How old you are? And then we're going to look at your income needs. Now, clients that we have mention a lot that, well, I don't have the expenses in retirement. And what do you think? What do you say to that, David?
Well, and that's where it picks up, is the expenses. People don't think that they're going to have them. First of all, the expenses get more and more, right, down the road. Second of all, if you're retiring, you're going to have expenses, right? You're going to want to do things, okay? You're going to want to go out. You're going to want to go travel more, right? And then traveling's costing more and more every single day. Okay. Christmas presents get bigger and and more expensive as the grandkids grow. Sorry, retirees out there. It's just how it works, right?
Hey, real quick, David, I got a statistic for you. I was reading it here. I like the statistics, and it was talking about the average price of a vehicle 10 years ago. So in 2016, the average cost of a vehicle was around $34,000. Now that's average. Obviously, there's higher and lower. Do you know what it is today?
Probably
in 2026? It's nearly $50,000 for a new vehicle on average.
Yeah.
Just 10 years later. So things are getting, you want to buy your grandkid a new car, even though it may be used, it may not be 4,000 or 5,000, maybe 10,000, 12,000, 15,000. So things are getting more expensive, and that's where the income planning really has to play a big part of your retirement plan.
And don't think you have it covered. And I can't stress that enough. Don't think that, I can pull some income out if I need it here, if I need it there. That's when it really hits you. Okay, listen to one of our other shows. You'll hear a lot about it. I mean, you go on our retirementplanningpipeline.com and listen to our list of shows. You'll hear the effects that happen when you start doing that. And again, if you're on the verge of retiring, or you want to retire, you want to plan your retire in a couple years, you're 55 or older, our goal is to either retire you now if we can, which hopefully that's the best feeling for us, for our clients, is to retire you the day we meet you. That is such a good feeling for us. If that's your goal, right? And I always tell people, hey, meet me and I'm going to try my hardest to retire you, or to plan that retirement. Or if you're already retired and you want to at least advise your plan, right? Maybe maximize that income, right? Because if you don't have it maximized when you're planning beforehand, you can still learn how to maximize it now. If you're looking at really increasing those maximized income of your plan, give us a call today at 850-565-1705. Again, 850-565-1705. And we could sit down with you and go over that retirement plan, but maximize your income and make sure that your assets are safe, and your expenses are taken care of down the road.